of Gouda and stacks of Stilton. As he scurried along, Jimmy stopped in front of an especially rare cheese, a legend among mice in the know, a spicy Dutch nagelkaas. But then his nose caught an even stronger scent right in front of him. There in the centre of the shop, Jimmy spotted the prize. A huge slab of golden cheese labelled Limburger, aged longer for its uniquely pungent flavour.
Ooh, Grandpa's favourite smelly cheese!
Jimmy's heart pounded as he nibbled through the wrapping, and with great effort he tugged a hefty slice free. He darted back the way he came, hearing only a faint tinkle of a bell as the shop's cat shifted in its sleep. Back at the cafe, the mice gathered around, sniffing the air. The Limburger cheese was smooth and creamy, with a robust aroma, somewhat reminiscent of human feet, that made their noses twitch in delight.
Fabulous! I haven't smelt anything so wonderful since years ago when I took a ride in a laundry basket full of dirty socks,
declared Grandpa.
But what will the humans do when they find out their special cheese has been nibbled in the night?
Worried Rodina.
They could make the cat go hungry so he stays up and hunts mice.
We need to learn how to pay, said Judith thoughtfully. Humans don't seem to mind sharing when they've done their magic trick. Then, as if by fate, Jimmy stumbled upon an extraordinary discovery the very next day. He found a plastic card lying on the pavement outside the cafe. It had a picture of a fierce bird and the words Mexican Express written across it.
That's it!
Squeaked Rodina excitedly.
That's a paying card! We can use it to do magic just like humans.
The mice were thrilled. They polished the card until it gleamed and made little bags from scraps of cloth. Judith insisted that they looked as respectable as possible when venturing out. Jimmy, now accompanied by Judith, made the perilous journey back to the cheese shop. They wriggled through the air vent and approached the magic black box the humans used to do the paying thing. Judith took a deep breath. Right, we must hold up the card like this, she demonstrated, and the magic box should flash and make a happy beep. If it does, we'll have paid. Jimmy hesitated, but then he held up the Mexican Express card to the machine. A green light flashed, and the machine beeped just as Judith said it would. The two mice stared at each other in disbelief as the doors of the glass cheese cabinet clicked open. They slipped inside the cabinet and filled their bags with the best crumbs of Limburger, Gouda, and a particularly fragrant truffle-infused brie. Before they left, Judith insisted on looking at the number on the machine. 999.32, she read out slowly. That must be the magic number. We've really paid now. Emboldened by their success, the mice took their card to the posh grocery store next door. They stuffed their bags with bran flakes, raisins, and even organic sunflower seeds. They returned home with more fine food than the family of mice had ever known. For the next few days, they lived like kings, even using the card at the cafe when they took crumbs from the tables. Each time, Judith insisted on a polite wave of the card before taking anything. One day, as Jimmy and Judith were peeking out of the mouse hole, they overheard one of the frequent customers talking to the cafe owner. "Well, I'm looking for my Mexican Express card," he said, looking downcast. "And someone's been using it all over town. £999 on cheese, £600 at the grocery store, and—" He paused dramatically. £62 here on tea and sandwiches?
£62 on tea and sandwiches?
The cafe owner repeated, baffled.
My prices aren't that steep.
I know, but if I find out who took my card, the man fumed. Keep an eye out for me, will you?
Oh, yes, indeed.
said the cafe owner.
Only a really bad person would use someone else's card to buy 1,000 quid's worth of cheese.
Judith and Jimmy glanced at each other, their hearts racing. I do believe we've been overspending, whispered Judith. Humans say it's bad manners to overspend.
Do you think we should, stop paying?
Jimmy asked, his little heart thumping. Judith paused, considering carefully. Yes, perhaps the humans aren't very fond of us using the card. Let's leave that to them in future.
What should we call it then?
Asked Rhodina, who had been listening from behind. Judith nodded. From now on, we'll say we're borrowing. Borrowing is a much nicer word. Humans do it all the time. They borrow money, they borrow things,